My name is Ronnie Lozano, and I have a story to tell. The story is about my life. Okay. I have made some good decisions, I've made some bad decisions, but I want to share my life with you. Hopefully, this will make you think about a few things. This might make you stop and consider some of the things that I have done so that you don't make the same mistakes. Now, I'm doing this with YouTube because I know that YouTube can be a teaching tool. I have learned a lot with YouTube. I know that YouTube can be a good communication tool. I know that YouTube can be a community. So one thing I keep hearing about this generation is that this is the most isolated generation ever, especially after COVID, you know? So here I am talking to a phone instead of talking to a real person. Okay. And that can lead to issues, as we all know. We are talking to our phones, we're playing our games, we're in our rooms, we're not talking to real people. What's suffering from that is the relationship, that community, that relationship with somebody else. Okay. So you don't learn from things the way our parents of the last generation did. Okay. So there's one thing that I want you to know in sharing my life. First of all, I grew up without a dad. Okay. So, but when I got married, I had two daughters. And you know, the first thing I said to myself when I had my first baby, I'm going to be the best dad ever. I'm going to be the best dad. There's not going to be a better dad than I am. Okay. And I swore that to myself when I had the first baby. And I had two daughters that are over 30 years old now. Okay. But, yeah, lots of us didn't grow up with the perfect mom or the perfect dad, or maybe just with mom or just with dad. And, you know, there's lots of us that still have emptiness inside, that still have holes inside that we have not dealt with or identified with, you know. So that's been part of my issue. You know, I'm 65 years old. I'm divorced. Okay. I have a Christian faith. But I've learned in retrospect, unfortunately, I have learned a lot about myself and what I did wrong. So one thing you learn is that when you don't cope with things correctly, you handle things a certain way and your kids learn from you, whether they know it or whether you know it consciously or not. Do you ever find yourself saying, hey, I sound like my mom? I sound like my dad. I sound like my grandpa, my grandma. Okay. Subconsciously, you've seen this. You've recorded it in your mental tapes and you learn from that. Okay. So awareness is if I don't deal with things, I need to show my kids that I can deal with things. I can correct things. Okay. So let me tell you my story. Let me elaborate on some of the good that I keep saying, good and the bad and the ugly, because I'm going to be totally open with you. Okay. But first, I want to start this video by telling you there's 5 things I wish I would have done before I got married. Okay. 5 things you should do before you get married. Okay. And the first one is you have to know yourself. Know yourself. In other words, are there things do you have any open holes, any emptiness inside that you have to deal with? Are you done with your past relationship? If you're considering a marriage, are there relationships still hanging in your closet that you haven't dealt with? Okay. Now, if you haven't dealt with those things, you're going to pass those things on, those issues, those expectations. You're going to handle things the way you've always handled things. And here you go. You're going to repeat your tapes. You're going to go down the same path with a new partner. Okay. So know yourself. Ask yourself why you're getting married. Okay. Ask yourself if you're ready. Okay. Number 2, related to number 1 is, do you have any issues you still have to deal with? Do you have any unresolved issues? Is it with someone else? Okay. You know, I keep hearing, especially in the Christian faith, you know, your old self is dead and gone. This is your new self. Okay. You've been born again. And that may be true if you have learned from your past. However, the community, others that you have been dealing and living with, still know the old you. And until you deal with issues, whether it's forgiveness or whether it's just thank you, or just correct things, whether you deal with them or not, if you don't, they're always going to be lingering. Okay. They're going to be lingering on. You have to deal with that. So don't bring old issues, old garbage to your new marriage. I'm talking to myself as I say this. Okay. That's number 2. Number 3 is ask yourself, where are you spending your time? Where do you spend most of your time? Okay. Have you ever heard the saying that, you can try to buy love? You can give somebody, your daughters and your children, all the money they need and all the iPhones they need and computers they need. But where are you spending your time? Okay. That's true love. Are you spending a lot of your time at work? Do you love your work that much? Are you spending a lot of your time with your hobbies more than where you think you're headed? Okay. If you're going to get married and start developing this relationship, a lifelong relationship with your partner, you need to spend time with them. That time is the most valuable asset you can provide somebody. I'm learning that in regret now. Okay. Through that time, you learn about that person. Through that time, you let them learn about you. Where do you spend your time? Spend time with that person before you commit to a lifelong relationship. Okay. So that's number 3. Number 4, openness. That's a big word. Openness. Are you willing to be totally open with this person that you're going to call your lifelong partner? You need to be open. Are you able to be open about everything? No hidden closet, no hidden secrets, no off limits. Okay. If there are off limits and boundaries, you need to expose them. Don't let them find out at the moment, during the moment. Tell them openness is a big deal. Okay. Is there any hidden off-limit boundaries that you need to discuss with them? Okay, so that's number 4. Now I'm going to talk about the very last one. And it's not controversial, and it's extremely important. Let's talk about sex. Yes, sex, sexual compatibility. One of my biggest mistakes in the past. Okay, so we've heard about the dating period, and we can put on this mask and try to impress a partner during the dating period. We've heard about the honeymoon period. Okay, and I'm sure there's a lot of dating and joking around and laughing and a lot of sex. Okay, what about after that honeymoon period? What are your expectations after the honeymoon period? What are the boundaries? Are you compatible? Okay. Is your partner, are there needs that you can look upon to your partner to fulfill? Can your partner be everything to you? Everything sexually? Can you look upon your partner for that need? Can you be open with them? Can they be open with you about their needs? Okay. Is there anything there that's hidden? Anything that you're going to have to find somewhere else? If so, you need to expose that. You need to deal with it. Look at it, look in the mirror, and ask yourself, is she or he everything I need sexually? Because, sexuality is part of the human element, isn't it? You can't ignore it. If you do, there's going to be issues. And things, whether you're 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old, things will crop up, things will float up to the top, and this will be the issue in your marriage that you tried to put away, tried to fix. Don't get married to somebody saying, I will fix him. I'll fix him later. I'll fix her later. She'll be what I need. You can't depend on that. Is this person the person that you need right now? Are you being honest with you? So all of this is linked together. Sexuality, sexual compatibility. That's part of being open. spending time with that person, spending time with yourself just to identify this and asking yourself these questions. Okay. It all relates to, can you identify, is there any issues there? That's what was number 2. Going back to number 1 is knowing yourself. Knowing yourself before you know that person. You're looking in the mirror. Okay, so just want to end this with just a few phrases. These are pretty much your goals. Is these phrases you always hear from happily married people. Okay, is I found my soulmate. I've married my best friend. Or we are a team. Or we always support each other. We can talk about anything. We laugh every day. Okay, these are those common phrases. They should be your goals, you know. For me, they're difficult to meet because you have to know yourself as well. So let me share a few minutes of my life with you. Okay. You may or may not agree or be interested in this. Okay. You will be my community. Okay. But what I promise you is that there will be life lessons, at least to consider. Okay. Through my life. So subscribe now so that you don't miss the next video. Thank you.